Have you ever felt tired in a way that no amount of sleep can fix? Not just physically tired, but soul tired. A deep, quiet exhaustion that lives beneath your skin. You're not just tired because you've been doing too much. You're tired because you've been holding on too tightly, pushing too hard, trying to control what was never yours to control in the first place. You might not always notice it, but it's there, in your breath, in the way your jaw clenches when things don't go as planned, in the way your chest tightens when you think of everything that still hasn't happened. Most of us spend our lives swimming against the current. We push against time, against other people's expectations, against the fragility of our own emotions, and the result, constant tension, constant pressure. A life that feels more like a battlefield than a dance. You wake up already bracing yourself for impact. You make to-do lists, set goals, fight to stay ahead. Because somewhere along the way, you were taught that living means achieving. That peace is earned, not felt. That rest is weakness. That letting go means giving up. But what if all of that is wrong? What if the exhaustion you feel isn't a sign that you're not doing enough, but that you're doing too much of the wrong thing? There's an ancient principle, born in the stillness of mountains and rivers, passed down in silence through generations. It speaks of a different way, a quieter way, a way not of control but of trust. Not of effort but of alignment. This way doesn't ask you to do nothing. It asks you to do the right thing, at the right time, in the right spirit. It is the way of not forcing. Imagine for a moment a tree. It does not rush to grow, it does not force its branches upward. It simply reaches toward the sun, slowly, steadily, because it is in its nature to do so. It doesn't resist the seasons, it doesn't panic in winter. It just waits quietly until spring returns. This is not laziness, this is wisdom. It is the understanding that everything has its own rhythm, and that trying to rush life is like trying to make the tide rise with your hands. We are so afraid of stillness that we fill every empty moment with noise, with screens, with tasks, with endless internal commentary. But real presence begins where the noise ends. We are addicted to control. We confuse effort with value. We chase productivity as if it's the measure of our worth. And in doing so, we drift further and further from ourselves. There is a way back. It starts not with doing more, but with noticing more. With observing rather than reacting. With asking yourself, softly, what am I really resisting right now? Where am I trying to force something that no longer fits? What am I clinging to that I could simply let be? We were not born to control life. We were born to move with it, to listen to its cues, to adapt, to flow, not like a machine grinding forward, but like a river winding through the unknown. Control is an illusion that breeds anxiety. Surrender is not giving up. It is returning to what you truly are, part of a vast, intelligent, living whole. And the moment you stop struggling to fix everything, something strange happens. Things begin to shift on their own. Not because you pushed, but because you stepped out of the way. You see, life doesn't need your constant interference. It needs your attention, your openness, your willingness to be moved rather than to always be the one moving. This is the art of letting go, and it is also the art of truly living, but we've been trained for the opposite. Since we were small, we were taught that effort equals virtue, that rest equals laziness, that to be worthy, we must always be better, faster, more productive. No one taught us how to listen to our own rhythm. No one taught us how to stop, and so we arrive here, overworked, underfeeling, and estranged from the natural intelligence that once guided every living thing. But this wisdom hasn't been lost. It's still here. It's waiting in the quiet. It shows up in the still mornings when you sense that something needs to change, in the tired sigh you let out when no one is watching, in the ache you feel when you're always doing but never arriving, and that ache, it is sacred. It is the signal that your soul is trying to speak. There is power in stillness, power in waiting, power in not forcing what clearly resists. You are not a robot. You are not a task list. You are a being, and being has no manual, only rhythm, only flow, only presence. So pause, feel your breath, drop your shoulders, unclench your hands. You don't need to fix everything. You don't need to know the outcome. You just need to meet this moment with honesty. That is enough. The world might tell you otherwise. It will scream that you must hustle, must achieve, must chase. But what if you stepped out of that madness and allowed something quieter to lead you? Let's be honest, when has forcing ever really worked? You can bully your way into temporary results, sure, but at what cost? Your peace, your sleep, your joy. Sometimes what looks like discipline is just fear in disguise. Fear that if you stop, everything will fall apart. Fear that if you rest, you'll be left behind. But behind what? A race you never signed up for. Maybe what you truly need isn't more effort, but more trust. Trust in your timing, trust in your unfolding. Trust that life has been trying to help you all along, but you've been too busy managing everything to notice. This is not about abandoning responsibility. It's about responding, not reacting. It's about doing what is needed when it is needed and not a moment more. It's about moving with intention instead of panic, and it is deeply radical, because in a world that worships control, choosing to flow is revolutionary. Choosing to rest is revolutionary. Choosing to listen to your intuition instead of your programming is revolutionary. Letting go is not weakness. It is clarity. It is choosing peace over pressure, simplicity over noise, trust over tension, and no, this path is not always easy. It will ask you to face your fears, to release the identities you've built around effort, to let go of the illusion that you are in control of everything. But in that letting go, you will find yourself again, not the version of you that performs to be accepted, not the version that chases to feel enough, but the version that simply is, the version that already knows how to move with the current, not against it. The version that remembers deep down that life is not a ladder to climb, it is a river to follow. And when you begin to trust that river, when you stop grasping and start listening, the current carries you to places no amount of effort ever could. This is not fantasy. This is a truth that has been echoed in every spiritual tradition, every artistic whisper, every moment of stillness you've ever felt. The way forward is not through force, it's through presence. So ask yourself, where in your life are you forcing right now? What are you trying to fix, control, predict? And what would happen if, just for a moment, you stopped? What would happen if you allowed things to be as they are? This is not about giving up. It is about giving in to the deeper rhythm, the one you've ignored in the pursuit of something you can't even name. And the moment you do, everything changes, not all at once. Not with fireworks, but quietly, gently, like dawn breaking over a tired landscape. You wake up not with answers, but with space, space to breathe, space to feel, space to truly live. So if you're hearing this, maybe it's because you're ready. Ready to stop fighting, ready to soften, ready to return, and not to something new, but to something ancient, something that has always lived inside you, the wisdom of the wave, the grace of the tree. The silence of the wind, this is your nature. Let it guide you, let it carry you, let go and live.